Hello and welcome to my first ever draw with me. It's basically going to be a combination of speed paints from Procreate and then also screen recording, so you can see exactly how I work. I've obviously cut it down quite a lot because otherwise it'll be 6 hours long and some of it will be really boring. But I'm hoping that this will be like relaxing for you, but also maybe a bit helpful if you're also doing illustrations on Procreate or other digital platforms, and you can kind of look at like other people's techniques and things. Like, I definitely learn a lot more from watching other people's videos than I did from like university and stuff. Yeah, basically my main, I guess, technique or style for digital illustration is basically doing some like quite detailed line work, and then masking with some like ink backgrounds that I've created like in real life, not digital ones, that I then scanned, and then I mask them and then recolor them, and it basically means that my illustrations aren't flat. I saw someone else do this and I was like, that's a great idea. So like, because I hate those illustrations where like it's very obviously digital. Like, there's a time and a place, but like my style, I like it to look like it could have been done like in real life, but doing it digitally is way easier to edit. I mean, I think a lot of primarily digital artists will agree that going from digital all the time to real life, you find yourself trying to do the like press an undo button or like like make it bigger and stuff, and it just I feel really stupid doing that. But yeah, so it's also easier for like if you're doing books and things, and you can change layouts and stuff really easily, and just like if you mess it up, then you can just completely undo it and pretend it never happened. Whereas if you're doing it like, if you're doing like watercolors or painting, like other types of painting, it's like very difficult, and you have, I think, less control over color and things like that. Though having said that, I know like some people would are like the complete opposite. Like my sister, she's also an illustrator, and she is just constantly in her sketchbook drawing with pens. And like, I lose my mind very quickly if I try doing that, so that's not for me. Here is the sort of texture I use all the time. This is like my go-to one. I have a lot of others that I've made, but this is my favorite one because it has a lot of it creates a lot of subtle variation, and as you can see, like you get lots of like pink undertones, greens, and this was literally just an experiment that I was doing for uni, because you have to show experimentation and creating textures and stuff with certain like all the time basically. And I scanned this in and I was like, this is a great idea for digital stuff that I can like recolor, and this seems also to be the one that recolors the best. Some of them, like I've got some blue ones and like red ones that are quite hard to recolor, whereas this one seems to be like the best, where it still has like different colors and undertones and things in it, but it's not like, it doesn't stay the exact same whenever you try and recolor it, whereas some of my other ones, it's like literally impossible. It's just like you turn your whole picture blue, and that was really annoying. But yeah, so this illustration itself is for a project I've sort of set myself, where I'm making a calendar, and this I think is June, because I started it a while ago. I'm hoping to finish them all by Christmas so people can buy them for Christmas. I've done most of them, and they're all going to be like houses. Like, I love drawing houses and landscapes. Like, I find character design really difficult. I am planning on doing like a graphic novel that is obviously character based, so that's gonna be difficult, but I definitely have my style of characters, but I find it not relaxing and very stressful, whereas I find this sort of illustration where I'm doing landscapes and houses and like little cottages and places I want to live in the woods is a lot more relaxing for me, and yeah, I think fun to watch as well. Like, if you if I did a video of like a draw of me episode where I was drawing characters, you'd probably get very frustrated because it wouldn't make any sense for most of it, and it would just be undoing everything all the time. So yeah, this is basically like how I go about things. If you want to see a real professional do like, I guess, similar stuff but better, maybe check out, I think his name's Francisco something. Let me check. His name's Francisco. He's Portuguese, I believe. He lives in Porto. But he's where I got the idea. Oh yeah, Francisco Fonseca. I butchered that. But he's like _francis.co on Instagram. I'll put it in like the description. But he's basically like next level, like really amazing. He has a what's it called? My brain's gone blank. A Patreon where he does tutorials and stuff. But he basically just only does houses, and they're amazing. He's also got a calendar out. Buy mine if it's available, but if not, buy his. But yeah, his style is quite different to mine. I think mine's more sort of like, I don't know, more. It's his. I think his is more professional, but I don't think any illustrator particularly likes their own work. They always like other people's. But yeah, he's basically where I got like. He like introduced me to the idea of using real life textures and then using it like. Putting them into your digital work so that it creates variation. He does a lot of stuff where he does like sketches and things, like sketches of the houses in pen, and then scans those in and like does them in Photoshop. I find Photoshop extremely irritating. I don't find it as intuitive as Procreate, because Procreate is basically it's created for illustration and like illustrative animation as well, which is what I like to do, whereas Photoshop is for literally everything and is very stressful for me. But yeah, go check him out. I don't think he has a YouTube, but he does have like a Patreon, I'm pretty sure, and he's also on Domestika. If you know what that is, it's basically like Skillshare, but it's like artists. I think it's originally Spanish, so there's a lot of stuff in Spanish, but they have subtitles and stuff, and also like non-Spanish people. But it's basically like artists and creatives that are like giving you tutorials and classes, like master classes on how they do their work and how you could potentially do things similar. Like this, like I've done ones where they're like basically helping you broaden your imagination with like illustration and like doing sort of like, if you've got like artist block or whatever, you can like do certain things to like help you get back into it, or just to like bulk up your sketchbook. I think they have like portfolio ones. Who is messaging me? Yeah, definitely check that out. They have sales quite a lot, I think. And once you've bought the course, you have it forever. So it is helpful, but also just check out like individual artists' Patreons. I feel like that probably supports them a bit more. If I get enough followers on YouTube, I will create one where like I want to do one where like people get physical stuff. Like I know on Patreon they send out, they can do merch for you and like send out to all your followers, because I don't like sending stuff to people. So like if I could do prints or something, or stickers that Patreon would like send out for me, obviously I'd like test it and stuff to make sure it's good quality, but they would do all the posting, which is the boring part that I don't like. Or like maybe mugs, that sort of thing. Because I've had a look at some like artists like Patreons, because like I want to support other artists, and like some of them are like Q&As and like it's just like really boring stuff, and I'm like, I want to, like, if I'm gonna spend money, I want like stuff. Like I want actual stuff, or at least like exclusive videos. Like I know some people just do like, they'll get like asked for £3 a month and they do like a Q&A once a month. I'm just like, that's a bit boring. Whereas like people like Christine McConnell, she's like amazing. She does these like tutorials on like she's all about spooky vintage, and it's like she has a YouTube as well, but her Patreon is like where most of her stuff is at, and it's like amazing. Like she's very unique, very individual. Like I believe she made like tarantula cookie like tutorial for Halloween. And I think she also does she does competitions on there, so she makes loads of stuff that not just cookies. Like she does sewing, she's like an amazing photographer, and like her, I feel like her sort of Patreon is like really worth it, whereas like other ones I'm just like I'm gonna save that £3 or however much they're asking. But yeah, if I eventually do it, you definitely get your money's worth. But obviously I need people to want to be able to spend money on me first. So but even if I do eventually do a Patreon, I'll still be doing YouTube and like Draw With Me series, and then the Patreon would be like other stuff on top of it. I know a lot of people do like colouring book pages, like things that people can print off every month. I might do that as part of it, but I wouldn't want to like ask people like £3 a month for like one page. Like that would be like in amongst several things. I think some people take the piss a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm planning. I've also got on my website, I've got a Christmas card pack thing that you can get, where it's a cute little, it's a pack of 10. It's the same illustration, but I mean, you don't have to send a different card to every single person, so they won't know. But it's a pack of 10 of this like really cute like cottage in the snow surrounded by like wintry trees. I am probably going to do some more Christmas cards, like different illustration ones, like so probably a similar theme. Like for my calendar, it's also like a cottage with like trees with like Christmas decorations and stuff. I might do like turn that into a card, or maybe do some other ones where they're not necessarily houses, like maybe like really cute baubles or something, that sort of thing, or like animals, because I like drawing animals. But yeah, check out my website and also my Instagram. My Instagram is lbr_illustration, and I have a few things on there, or you can just look up Laura Ridger. I'll probably be putting my thing in the description of this video, but also on there's my link tree where you can find basically everything that I do. I've got like I've done like several different sort of self-initiated projects, I guess. Like I did last year, a couple years ago, I did like retro textile designs, and recently, very exciting, I saw Trixie Mattel, the drag queen, wearing one of my patterns. Like, because I sell the pattern designs on Spoonflower, which is basically like fabrics and wallpapers and like homeware stuff. So you put your design on there and they print it to order and send it to people, so people can choose like the fabric and like the amount. And I'm guessing her costumer must have gotten it from there. But yeah, she was wearing, it was like green background with like sort of daisy sort of patterns in like orange and pink and yellow and stuff. And it's very cute, and you should look at one of her more recent videos. I think she was doing like a PR unboxing or something. But yeah, so have a look at all my other stuff. Hopefully you enjoy this video. I'm hoping to make it relatively relaxing, but also like, because it's kind of long, I don't want to just put music on and like be like stare at my illustrations for 40 minutes or however long this is. But yeah, I hope you like it. I might end up doing some like very basic tutorial. I'm far from like an expert on anything, but if you want to know how I did like I did the animations for the title and also the thanks for watching at the end. So if you want to know how to do like sort of very basic animation and stuff in Procreate, because they've got the Procreate sort has like updated it like relatively recently, like a year or two, where they have more stuff to, like they have settings that make it easier for doing like hand-drawn animation and just like, you know, basic tips and tricks on there. So yeah, so if you want like very basic sort of how-tos, or like if it's something specific you want to know or learn from, like if you see it in one of my illustrations, then I'll do like a more in-depth thing, like explanation of how I did it, or like the thought process behind it, or like, you know, like if you're watching this and there's certain aspects that you don't fully understand, or like you want to know exactly how to do it, like you should be able to see a lot of it through the screen recordings. That's why I did a combination of screen recordings and also the recorded speed paints that they do anyway on Procreate, so that you can kind of see how I do stuff, as well as like just looking at the like the speed paint, because otherwise I feel like it goes a bit too fast and isn't as relaxing. I find it a bit stressful if someone puts up a really fast speed paint. I'm like, what's going on? But yeah, so hopefully you enjoy this. It took me forever to edit down because I think I had like 6 hours worth of footage for this. And then I also had to create, because it's my first one, I had to create the the mini animation things for the beginning and the end, so it's professional. Yeah, so that took a while, but most of it was just cutting down all the stuff, like all the boring stuff, or like, because I think my first edit, it was like 2.5 hours. But I feel like 45 minutes, or however long this is like a reasonable amount. Like I quite like longer videos for when I'm working and things. That's why I like podcasts that are like an hour long. Like I don't like podcasts that are like 5 minutes. Like there's a podcast that I really like that called Law, very famous, but it's 5 minutes an episode, so I'll go through a whole season in like one sitting. I'm like, I want more than this. Like, can you make them like an hour long, please? And then I'd be very religious in like my listening of that. But yeah, but if you do want some good podcasts, obviously My Favorite Murder, everyone knows that. But also Dark History with Bailey Sarian, another YouTube legend. But yeah, she's got a podcast now, and it's basically all the stuff that I'm interested in. Like I love history, and it's all like the weird stuff that you don't get taught at school or whatever. Yeah, so enjoy. I'll leave you to watch my illustration or drawing now. And stop rambling, hopefully. I might pop in if there's like something I want to point out. But other than that, enjoy.